The Culture Currency show is for those who recognize that nuance is key. We don't pretend to have all the answers, but we tackle the issues that affect the majority when speaking of Black America. Our discussions are informed by the host's personal experiences and insights, and we're always open to evolving our perspective as we gain new understanding. This is the story of two friends from the Bronx who decided to get real, be direct, and impact Black culture. Welcome to Culture Currency, where culture is the value.
Grand Rising.
Good morning.
How you doing today?
I'm good.
That's good.
That's good. Hey.
We back inside.
It's getting cold.
We got a really good conversation cooking.
Yep.
What are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about culture, but culture vultures and the layers of it. Yeah.
I'm Mahogany.
I'm Ish.
And this is Culture Currency.
What culture
is the value. As we know, Culture Vultures, that term came from Dame Dash.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, Dame Dash came up with Culture Vultures, and he was discussing within the industry how the Caucasians of the industry pretty much take over the culture, make money off of it, kind of make it their own. And I wanted to discuss how that looks outside of the industry.
Right. You know, culture in general, we impact each other so much on a daily basis, like different cultures Well,
that's the beauty of it, right? Yeah. The beauty of it is, like, now, you know, everybody speaks of cultural appropriation and different things like that. I think it's beautiful to take part in the cultures of others. Yeah. And to be able to engage by way of culture. However, taking something and making it yours, or taking the value from something and leaving it with nothing, is very, very different.
That is very different. Just as I was prepping and thinking about the show, I was thinking about when it was like, what's your name, boy? Kunta Kinte. And you know what I mean? And he was holding on to that and refusing to assimilate when they were trying to force it on him, you know, and that's it. That was just something that particular clip, and that was Roots, right? Yeah. That particular clip in Roots, and how it was so important for Kunta to stay true to who he was.
Yeah, that was powerful. Yeah. I have a huge problem with the fact that a large amount of us do not have our backgrounds. So we came up with our own language. And coming up with our own language to engage each other in an environment that we're pretty much across enemy lines. Why are we teaching them all of our language?
But what you mean by teaching them our language? You mean by making it public, or about what you mean
all
by that?
All of it.
Like through our music and
all
everything?
All of it. It's our gift and curse. We're beautiful people in regard to how we accept others. Yep. We want community with the whole. Right. And sometimes that backfires. Right. And so what happens is we have a bunch of people saying, as soon as they see somebody from somewhere else that can kind of assimilate, we invite them to the cookout. Yeah. Now all of a sudden they belong just because they can sing and dance. Right. We don't know if they're in alignment with us.
Oh, I got you. Like when we have certain artists that jump in on the R&B scene or jumping in the hip hop scene, and then as soon as they blow, they switch. Like Pink, for example.
It's a whole bunch of them. Yeah. And so this is what we're talking about right now.
Got you. Like the bandwagoning, the takers, you're not really a part of it. I get you. You're not really a part of it. You're just jumping on it because it's convenient. You can make
utilizing us for your convenience.
But you're not really about that.
Throwing us away when it's not conducive to what you're trying.
Absolutely.
Everything is reciprocation. So it's always an exchange. I understand that we are in each other's worlds to give and to receive. Right?
That's life.
But period. But I understand that there is a break in the nature of that when it's only take and no give. Right?
Yes.
So that's where it becomes a negative versus a positive.
You don't think like with the music industry and the amount of millionaires that came out of it is part of the give?
No. The reason I say no is because I could do something that you benefit from doesn't necessarily mean I'm doing it for you. That's not my intention.
Right.
Right? And that happens all the time. A lot of times we get caught up in relationships that we're lost in because we believe that we're in a reciprocal relationship because we just so happen to be reaping some level of benefit from something that's happening
but it's not intentional. Right.
And then by the time you catch on to the fact that it's unintentional, you're so deep in. So much has been taken. Now you butt naked in the desert like, yo, how'd I get here?
Yeah. What the conversation makes me think of is how we really impact each other really every day. And when you're around a certain type of people or whoever, you pick up on certain culture norms because that's what it is, right? It's the food you eat, it's your traditions, it's how you speak, sometimes it's mannerisms, it's all those things. So it's like, so if we absorb stuff from everybody every day, you know what I mean? If you spend enough time with a person, you start absorbing some of their stuff, you know what I mean? And then, so really it's like, I feel like everybody, we're all walking melting pots.
Well, that's the problem, right?
Wow.
Because I think that just the statement melting pot, right? The beauty of America is supposed to be the fact that we have so many cultures in one space, so we're able to exchange in that way.
Right.
But melting, when something melts into something else, what happens?
It forms into something else.
Exactly.
Right.
So it loses its
original form.
Right. And so when people say melting pot and speak of it as if it's a positive, I don't see it as a positive.
Got it. Because so many people come here with certain cultures, and then it's mixed with the American culture, and it becomes something completely different.
We happen to be from New York. How many Spanish people do we know that don't speak Spanish?
Many.
It's the responsibility of us to hold on to our culture.
Right.
But when you think about how that comes about, you know, it comes about by way of America's melting pot.
Right.
Right?
Right.
What made me want to have this discussion is just paying attention and noticing like some of the behaviors from our people. Not being natural behaviors of our people.
Yep. And the thing about it is that when we talk about influence, there's no discrimination with it. It's like if you're around some folks and you guys are really around each other and engaging in the same things, you adopt, whether it's good or bad, you start adopting stuff. So that's why for the rest of your life, you really got to watch the company you keep because it starts becoming who you are.
I think it's cool that we kind of mirror each other when we're around each other often, take up certain lingo, take up certain activity. I don't like when we take the negatives of each other and then mirror that. So I'm starting to see a lot of us showing up in ways that our colonizers show up, and it's nasty.
And then we got social media where all this stuff is more, the influence is more instant. You know what I'm saying? The weirdest stuff becomes normal.
Yeah.
You know, the weirdest behaviors become normal. Things that you have never done, it becomes normal because everybody else is doing it. You know what I'm saying?
One of the things that I'm hearing a lot now is white fatigue, black fatigue. So there's this understanding that when they say white fatigue, black people are tired of white behaviors. It's like, oh, I'm so tired of this.
Right.
And when they say black fatigue, is white people are very tired of the black behaviors. So it's hilarious to me because when I pay attention to the behaviors, I'm like, you know, yes, there's a lot of nasty behaviors taking place, but we're not necessarily acknowledging where these behaviors are coming from, right? And that takes me back to acting as our colonizers act. Such as the video you sent me. Remember you sent me in the middle of the night one night, you was like, it's happening. They messing it up. About the young lady
going
on
to
her way to Japan, acting up on the plane.
Right.
And I believe underneath that message, somebody said, black fatigue, right? On our very first season, I spoke of the issue that I have with people going into a space that already has its way of working.
Its norms.
And you going into that space and not abiding by
those rules.
The rules of the space.
Right.
Like, You don't just go in somebody's house and decide you're gonna put your feet on their coffee table,
right?
And then they're wrong for having a response to your action,
right?
You know what I mean?
Right.
But that's what conquerors do,
right?
And now we're doing it.
That was loaded. But one thing that popped in my head when you were talking were Karens. So we say, oh, black fatigue, but what about the label that we put on white women who are nosy, give their opinions and very aggressive in areas that nobody's even talking to you, you're doing a lot, and we call them Karens. Does that still apply when we're talking about that? Because that's a behavior.
Usually when they say white fatigue, we're talking about when they see the other side acting in a specific way. It's like, yo, now it's white fatigue.
Got it.
But I even have back and forths about that. Because sometimes you're just wrong.
Right.
And she's not a Karen because she's telling you you're doing something wrong.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. She has the audacity and she's bold enough to speak up about it.
And when it affects them, they should. The same way we should when it affects us.
Right.
That doesn't make you a Karen. Being a Karen is supposedly when you're in business that has absolutely nothing to do with you and you creating a stir that doesn't exist.
Right. Got it. To bring it back, what I was thinking about as you were talking was, I think sometimes like we're so quick to invite folks to the cookout, is because I believe a lot of us don't even recognize that what we do is part of our culture. Don't realize how deep it goes, that it goes back to our African ancestry, who we are as a people, and And it's kind of like, oh, this is just how it is, and I think we take it for granted, and we don't understand the power and the value in our own culture, where if we did, we would hold on to it a little differently, and a lot of things would be more sacred.
I agree with
and we wouldn't hurt each other as much, because it's like, that's not part of our culture either. The way we're killing each other and all of that kind of stuff, that's not who we are. But because like you said, we don't even know our ancestry, we don't know our full story, so how can we honor our culture? So now we just out here it's kind of free for all.
And I agree with that. And that's a part of that's a part of the accountability portion, right? We're giving away, like anyone who doesn't value something is quick to give away what they don't value.
On a small level, I remember I bought this jersey. It was a really nice jersey, but I got it for $1. And because I got it for $1, I did not honor the jersey like that. But it was a real. But if I paid $150, I'm like, I gotta put this in the cleaners. And you understand what I'm saying? And then we treat our culture like we paid $1 for it.
We value what we earn. Like when it's hard earned, you like, hold on, I gotta be careful with this.
Right.
When it's not hard earned, everybody can have it. Because a lot of our cultural behaviors come so easy to us. We're talented. You know what I mean? We're very talented. We know this.
Right.
This is not something
we
that we
swaggy.
think is a big...
We
you know
know
what I mean?
This, yeah.
We like, this is just who we are. Even in our mess. Even in our mess, we know this.
Right. Yeah.
It's easy.
Right.
So, okay, that's why so many black folks running around calling Eminem the GOAT. As if they don't see a million black M&Ms.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
it's like, we're not used to you being this.
Right, so we're going to give you all this credit. So we're going to
give you all this credit. Even if it takes away from us.
Or even if we've been that. Right.
You know what I mean?
But you think giving someone else credit is taken away from us?
If you're talking about GOAT, yes.
Got it.
I think Eminem is great. Is he the greatest of all time? Hell no.
Right. But do we say greatest white boy of all time? GYBOAT? Good boy.
Listen. He's a talented guy.
Yeah.
But let's be clear. I could run down a list.
Facts.
A list of black MCs that he cannot stand in.
Yeah.
And that's just what it is. Right. So we are very quick to give away our stuff as if we don't feel like it was earned, and we got to do better. So that's our accountability in the culture vulture space. And that's one thing that I always agreed with Damon. It's like you don't like his delivery, but he definitely his mindset is about making sure that we maintain our culture in a way that shows us its value.
They're trying to erase a lot of American history out of the, textbooks and, education. So what I'm put is like something that's important is that even if we're not getting into the schools, like how can we get to our young people, our kids, the Black history and not just the American horror history story. You know what I mean? Like who we are, really teaching that is so important because I remember when I realized, I think I said this on another episode, when I realized why I'm so community oriented and why do I do the work that I do. I made me think, oh yeah, I'm doing this great stuff, but good thing I wasn't put up for adoption, or I wasn't, not that I was an option, I'm just saying, because I wouldn't have known my roots. So this didn't come by chance. My grandparents is doing it. My dad has been doing it. My mother, you know what I'm saying? So, and then that came from...
Those things are important.
Those things are important. So when I've realized that this is really who I am, not, oh, yes, I give a lot of credit to the Laura Varels and the Lynn Powells for helping me in Jeff Canada's, but it's like in my blood, this is who I am.
It's been there.
It's been there. And
they
then
may have sparked something. And they got some assistance in areas.
Right. They brought it alive, but it's in there. So that's why I'm great at it. And then I own it more and hold it more because this is who I am. Our kids need to know who they are.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So how do we do that?
All of our stories are not the same. Some of our lineage began here. And so there's no one size fits all for Black history, which is what makes that a bigger...
What you mean some of our lineage started here? You mean like there was nowhere before America?
We all come from Africa. That's the conception of human beings.
Right.
But when it comes down to like our lineage, there's a different story for some of us.
Right.
So there's a larger conversation. However, it's very important for us to have some level of information to go to. It's important for our families to do their research so that we're able to connect those dots. But the other part is some people are never going to know.
Right.
And it doesn't change the fact that you need to know who you are.
Right.
Even if you don't have that information.
Right.
Right. So just
like
really
your family or just your people.
Just identifying you.
Yep.
You know what I mean? What comes natural to you? Why does it come natural to you? Where are these features? The people in this place, this part of the earth,
looks like this.
Oh shoot! They look like I could possibly, have some relation. What are the behaviors that come from these people? Do I share any of those behaviors?
Right.
Like really doing some groundwork that has to do with just what you do know.
I wrote down a quick lesson plan. I put the family tree exercises. And like you said, some people, like I said, I wasn't put up for that, but a lot of people are. So you don't know your whole story, but not just your family, but just your people. So Black people, Latino people, Mexican people, you know what I'm saying? All kind of Indian people, like all the different kind of like who, what do they do? What have they invented? Where do they, you know what I mean? Just understanding that whole thing, I think brings a sense of pride.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Getting to know your ins and outs,
yeah.
you know what I mean, is a beautiful thing. Knowing the history of the people, what were they great at?
Yeah.
What were they not so great at?
Yep.
How does that show up in your work?
Where it's like, you know what, that's okay, I'm not handy.
Because, I mean, let's be clear. Being in a space where we're across enemy lines, the people who are creating that divide don't want you to know who you are because there's power in it.
Right.
So that should be
much power.
That should be more reason why you want to know that much.
Exactly.
More.
Like they're trying to hide it for a reason. I'm trying to think about that melting pot thing because what you said about that was so that was deep right there. Because once you become a melting pot, then you lose your origin. It's just a mix, and now things get lost and watered down. Seasoned differently.
And let's say it's you, right? Let's say you are where the melting took place. Now you only have that. So now how do you pass your information down? Now it's lacking stuff. And then that person you passed it down to, when they pass it down, is lacking stuff. The whole time we're losing it.
Right.
More
little by little.
So this is what we're seeing now as we're dealing with our people.
Right.
It's like the same way you said, they don't know. They don't know. They don't know because
it's been tainted with exactly, because we've been part of. I mean, diversity is beautiful, like you said. The beauty of
but you be you
of a place like New York. You know what I mean?
Be you.
But you be
we
you.
had that conversation before. The business space. The business space is a space where it has its own culture. And we just discussed, okay, when you go into a space, you must do as the space is doing, right? But when that space is created with a racist undertone, now when you're black going into this business space which has this racist undertone, there is ways that you can't walk, talk, wear your hair. Now you're changing the way that you speak. We're giving up ourselves to be a part of these spaces. And so what I'm saying is,
as opposed to bringing those spaces into who we are.
Exactly. Yeah. We got to stand firm. We got to stand firm because we have value as a people. Right? We have value. And there's no business space without us. Let's be clear.
There's no spaces without us.
There's no space without us. So being nervous to be you is doing you a disservice. When in all actuality, if you stand on who you are,
because you really undervalue what you bring into the table,
they have no choice but to accept it. If all of us are coming as us, I'm not talking about our toxic spaces. I'm speaking of us in our natural form. I speak like this. I'm coming and I'm speaking like this. You understand?
And
what
at the
I'm
end of the day, everything that we bring to the table, that we have brought to the table for thousands of years, is duplicated. You know what I mean? And it becomes industry.
The craziest part of this discussion is that we're speaking of culture vultures. Taking our culture, repurposing it, making it their culture, and then telling us how to behave in the culture that's actually ours from the beginning, just with a different
twist to it.
Yeah.
So you said taking our culture, repurposing it, make it their culture, and then telling us how to behave in it. How I'm seeing it is taking our culture, right? And part of it, what you said, figuring out how to make money from it, throwing it back, and then in so many spaces, demonizing it.
Absolutely.
But it doesn't become theirs.
Every time we have this discussion, we have to bring hip-hop into it. Hip-hop is a culture who has these different entities underneath its umbrella that has been swiped. Why? Because those entities are not of monetary value. So now it turns into just rap music. Right. Rap music, and we play with the art of it when we decide that's fun. We play with the dance of it when we decide that's fun. We play with the DJing of it when we decide that's fun. But the one that is valuable, the one that we know we can make billions off of, this here lingo, this here poetry. So that's the part. We decide that it doesn't need these things anymore. Those codes that once was, we just need to be able to rhyme. We have y'all saying it for us. You don't need to know how to speak to make music that's all about dialogue. I hear people of our culture who are on hip-hop platforms say, you don't have to be a lyricist. Because singers are not lyricists. Singers' tool is their voice. Our tool is our lyrical content. What are we talking about here? So all of a sudden, people who did not create something
is saying
can change the rules for something that existed
now I understand what you're
them.
saying. And now you change the rules.
Repurposed it. And now got you going along with the repurposing.
And saying, nah, this is whack now. Nobody's listening to this anymore. Now you're listening to this. And it's like, damn, nobody wants to hear this. So now you're right.
And how are we listening? But that's not what you... They don't create cool. We create cool.
We create cool. We create cool. We create cool.
We create cool, and then we listen to the non-cool.
Hold on, let me say
what's
something.
Cool or not?
Because what's crazy is like how we listen to like the wackest song will be on the radio. Like for example, I'm a dong, I'm a smile. I hate that song, right? I hate that. I think it's horrible.
I think you said that
when you sing it. Yeah, I think when you sing it and you saying that about yourself, I hate the song. But after listening to it, the last 5-6 months,
you start.
I was driving one day. I was so mad when I said it. I said, I can't believe I just said.
Our ingestion conversation.
But the thing is, we could do that with everything. So yeah, our artists are constantly drinking the Kool-Aid and say this is not selling. It'll sell if we want it to sell. All you got to do is keep pushing it.
Everybody's regurgitating information.
That's
so they're
it.
listening to what they're telling them, and then they're regurgitating that. Because the reality is, if you can make them like this, then you can make them like this. Right. So don't tell me that positivity doesn't sell.
If you can convince people to degrade themselves, you can convince them to uplift themselves.
But that's not. That doesn't work in the favor of
the oppressor. Exactly.
Right? The value is gone because the things that made it valuable are no longer, and they're no longer because the people who decided to conquer said we needed to do this for our purposes, not for theirs. They gave us some millionaires. That's a small price for them to pay.
To tear up generations. And
price for us.
And you know what? And because like we're talking about music, it goes deeper than the music, but the music is the pathway because it's so influential.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it changes cultures. So it changes the cultures in our neighborhoods, the cultures in our home. You know what I mean? So it changes everything because it's like it's being repeated. Now you're being what do you call it? Hypnotized, basically. You know what I mean? You're in the matrix in it.
I created a movie about that called The Rage and Boom.
Rage and Boom.
And it's all about that. The power of rhythm. We understand it like it's a part of our being. Your heartbeat is rhythm.
Right.
Everything about us is rhythmic.
Right.
So when you have such a connection to that is used to create different responses in your body.
I love that analogy of heart and rhythm because when your heart is out of rhythm, that's a signal that something is wrong. Right. And so when we listen to certain frequencies, something is wrong and it's doing something to our brain.
I tell you. Yeah. Depending on where you are and your understanding the belief systems, everybody has a different language that they speak. I constantly speak of rhythm, vibrations, all of those things because I am now at a point where I understand the connection that we have to the universe. And that language comes by way of those things. And when you understand that, you understand the severity of what's being done with this music.
And then through music, you can pump so many things. You can pump drug abuse,
anything,
alcoholism. You know what I mean? You can just change everything through that. And then once that was figured out, that was that.
And after that was figured out, the music has no value no more. They started pulling away. That's why all of the people who are appropriating have changed courses because they said we're not putting money behind this no more. We've done what we needed to do. We took the power away from it. It's a Black Wall Street again. It just looks different.
Right.
You built something powerful that's going to enable you to empower your people and do something to get you some independence. We can't have that.
You can't have that.
Blow that motherfucker up.
That's right, and that's how they blew it up. Now we're going to change this all, be a father to your child, and who you calling the bitch? We're going to change all that up. We're going to boom, boom, boom.
We're going to make
Black Wall Street.
y'all believe that even though y'all grew up and was singing these songs,
you can't make money off of that.
You can't make money off of something
like
that you've been doing and been making money off of.
Because guess what? Everything is cool with the right beat. And the right rhythm. So it's like, yeah, you're right. Black Wall Street, it is crazy. Black Wall Street at music, y'all came and blew that shit up. That's deep.
Culture Vultures.
Yeah, Black Wall Street. The damn party's like, kill you. That's
and then
it's crazy.
And then on podcasts having these discussions about how, you can't, nobody want to hear that. We saying it.
Yes, you do, because you need
saying it.
It's like healthy food. Nobody want to eat that. Yes, your body, all your organs need it. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, just like your soul needs some saving, your soul needs some positivity. It's thirst for something. You're just not giving it to it.
So necessary. Yeah. And we just got to pay attention, man. Yeah. We got to pay attention to what are people actually here for? What are their intentions? And what's our part in reserving or the lack thereof of our culture? Man, what are we giving up?
Man, we so far gone, man. I feel like it's a small group that buy into, and that has already very aware and knows and all of that kind of stuff. But the folks we're trying to reach, I don't know. I hope it does reach them. But we so far gone, man.
You are right now at the space that I've been in regard to, like, that's why when we came into this, I said, yo, I don't want to say I've given up on the adults of our culture.
Not giving up. Yeah.
But I'm not focused on them.
Yeah.
I'm focused on the children.
Yeah.
See, the children now is
right.
who we need to be.
Absolutely.
Making sure we
Tomorrow.
feed in this information.
Yeah. Today is already happening.
They can take the baton and move us where we need to be
Absolutely.
moved. And they ain't been broken and beat up to the point that they don't have the will to do so.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep. And then another thing, I was just thinking about one of the episodes recently when we was talking about choices, and then one of the things was I talked about just because everybody's doing a thing and everybody's not moving on the corner and change doesn't mean you shouldn't.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So like, be willing to be the odd man out to help change the course of where we're going.
That's what it takes. That's what it takes. There's not been any change makers who everybody loved when they first started.
Right.
After the impact, then people praised them.
That's just how it goes.
Usually, it's not even after the impact. It's after they dead. You know what I mean? Everybody had everything under the sun to say about Malcolm until he was gone.
Right.
And I'm talking about I'm talking about black leaders. I look at footage and I'm like, this is crazy.
Right.
The amount of people who would downplaying, talking bad when he's trying to save you. Right.
But at the same time, he still had his following, so you just rocking with you.
That's it.
That's it.
And that's what we doing here in Culture Currency.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the kids be rocking with us.
They be rocking.
Yeah, they be rocking with us. So yeah, we could do something with them.
I'm Mahogany.
I'm Ish.
And this is Culture Currency.
Where culture
is the value.
Make sure to like, subscribe,
share, and comment.
All right.
Yeah.